I will never understand that. Men are so hard to please. I popped a joke and sent him a pic, and he literally sent me back a picture of him tearing up, saying that that was the best day he's had in the last 3 weeks. And the time before that was 3 weeks ago when I sent him a text. So, like, simple creatures. Come on.
Fully agreed. She gets it. Ladies, if you want to have a really good relationship, just do stuff like this for him on a regular. Give him snacks, make him food, send him those pictures. And part of the reason why that picture is so effective, it's not only because he loves seeing that. He knows that you are thinking enough about him to go through the effort of making that photo for him. And for a lot of men, they don't have a lot of people consciously thinking and going out of their way for them. So when you show that effort, that care, that love, even in small amounts with simple tasks, it means a lot to him. Men are usually only seen as useful when they're giving or providing something. When you go out of your way like that, he loves it.
If there's 100 men and 100 women in the tribe, why do we as men go die? Because we can send our women to fight their women. Why don't we send the women to die? Because if 80 men die and 20 men come back, those 20 men can have sex with the 100 women and the tribe will continue. Whereas if 80 women die and only 20 women are left, the tribe is over. So female life is actually more important than male life. It always has been for a very long time. That's why it was men stay on the Titanic, women and children get off the Titanic. This is the way it's always been. So we have helped you through the process of evolution become narcissistic. And that's very important for human survival. I'm asking, why do you think nobody gets married anymore? Because it used to be a very simple transaction. Women are not sticking to their side of the deal anymore. That's why any man with a brain doesn't get married.
Well, I feel like I have to disagree, because I'm assuming when you say they're going to send, the men are sending women and children off the Titanic, right? Okay. So when they get to shore, who's going to help them up? Right. So we have the men, because I'm assuming it's like, okay, well, we just get them ashore. The men at the shore can pull them in. Problem is, when they have to go and reproduce, great. So you're reproducing right now. You got all that taken care of. During your reproduction, you still need sustenance. You still need to be protected. So there's going to need to be a fence or some sort of security system to protect you while you're trying to grow the baby and then push out the baby, right? So a man's going to have to do majority of all that work. And then also you have to add, when you think about, okay, so the men are putting the women off and sending them back to shore. The men have the vision long term to say, okay, in terms of future planning, we need this resource. I'm not going to make it. This is where my journey ends. But what we need to do is send this resource back. So there might be, even though I kind of don't like it, we need to send this resource back so somebody on land will know what to do with this resource here. So that actually makes, at the very least, both of them important, because you have another man that says, oh, dang, that sucks that Joe died. Okay. So let me tell you what, which is what they used to do a lot of in the old days. You come into my house, I'll take care of you and your kid, right? We'll have other children to build out this family, and this will be your role. We have a memorial for Joe. We mourn him for maybe a few months or years, however long you want to do it, right? But it wasn't very long back in that day, for a little while. But then we move on with the family. It's all a part of the plan. It's all a part of the long-term goal and the long-term vision. So your life can't be more important. What you contribute can't be more important, because you have somebody else with a long-term vision that says, I will give my life knowing somebody else on shore will help to create life and push it forward. So you're not important. The guy back at shore, they're working in tandem. The network, the structure, the system is the important thing. And that system happened to, in this case, come from a man. Get all the women off the ship. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to make it. Get all the women and the children off the ship. They're going to send, we're going to try to save them. We're going to try to send them back to shore. That's the system that the man in that situation created.
Tonight, I need to talk to you about one decision that has buried more men alive than almost anything else in this world. And that's choosing a wife primarily because she is beautiful. Most men see the warning signs early. They see her temperament. They see her respect or lack thereof. And deep down, they know they should not marry this woman. But then they look at her again, and her exterior design overrides their discernment, overrides the Most High's wisdom. Her beauty speaks louder than the Holy Spirit. And here's the part that is rarely said out loud, my brothers. It's not always that the wife gets in his way. She doesn't necessarily forbid him from chasing his calling or leadership. She just doesn't truly support it. She doesn't stand with him when adversity strikes. She doesn't stand behind him with conviction. She doesn't pray over his mission. Instead, every decision becomes a debate. Every risk becomes a threat to her security. Don't let your eyes make a decision your spirit will regret and your soul will grieve. Don't let attraction drown out discernment. Don't let desire override destiny. Don't let beauty bury you alive.
For what?
You need to leave. I need you gone. Like, you gotta go.
Can we revisit this after the holidays?
No. Today. We not doing that after holidays and then prolonging this whole process. No.
So you're gonna ruin the holidays for everyone, for the kids, for
The holidays
my family.
wasn't on your mind when you did what you did. Hey, we're not doing this. This is cyclical. This is a cycle, what you know.
Okay, but what? Okay, so your birthday, I was planning something real big,
That's
and
fine.
now
That's my birthday. I
can
don't
we
need anything.
Can we like?
No, that's 7-8 months out. No.
So there is no reconciliation right now.
No. There's always a reconciliation. There's always a reclamation. There's always a recycle. We're not. No. You gotta go.
Are you really doing this right now?
No, you doing that right now on the camera?
I've been trying. I've done everything that you asked me to do.
You being real studio right now. You gotta go.
Please don't do this. Like, the holidays are coming, the kids
Don't put this on me. Like, let's not do this. Don't put it on me.
You know,
Be
I've been
accountable.
going through so much.
No, you've been putting yourself in so much.
Please
These are your actions.
don't do this. We can fix this.
There's no fixing. You gotta go.
Oh my God.
You gotta go.
Like, this is not happening right now.
It has to
I
happen
can't
right
lose
now.
you.
It's already lost. It's already lost.
I've given you the opportunity to correct the things that you've needed to correct in this
And they've
relationship.
been corrected without
And I feel like
repeat
it's not
since
being
we're on the
reciprocated
R
for
words.
me. I feel like I've given you all the opportunity to do what needs to be
It
done,
was
and you
reciprocated and not
don't give me the
repeated.
same space to get the things done that I need to fix. I know I can fix it. Please.
You need to rectify with yourself.
So one of the things that stuck out to me was the fact that she said, I give you space to change things, but you don't give me that same space. And it makes me think of the woman in recent weeks who's getting divorced right now. She's going through a divorce and she was a stay-at-home mom. Basically, one of the things she said was, you know, he just came to me one day and he said, I think I want to go through with the divorce, meaning they had already talked about it. And she had been doing some things, or there had been some things going on that made him say, hey, I want to get divorced. And she wanted to act shocked and surprised. And, oh man, this came out of nowhere. You know, he never, I don't know what happened. But then when you go down her page and listen to her videos, she tells you maybe like a year or so ago, or however many years, that she's been dealing with some stuff. She hasn't been the mother or the wife that basically her husband needs her to be. And so at the end of that, he decides, hey, I know we talked about divorce before, but I think I want to go through with it now. And at that point in time, I'm not really sure what you want the man to do. If you admit that you're not being the wife, you're not being the mother, and it's been how many years do you want that man to wait, basically? How many years do you want that man to continue giving you the benefit, paying for you and all that stuff, but you willingly are not doing the things that you need to do? Well, I just continue to go buy Starbucks or, go here and go there and do all of the things that I want to do and not really put in the effort to grow.
I unfollowed all the past guys I had a situationship with. Any guy that I might have talked to in the past or had a little thing with or flirted with in the past, I unfollowed. They might still follow me, but I do not follow them. And the other day I was asked, why did I do this? It's no harm, this person said. It's no harm to follow them. You're not talking to them anyways. And it's true, I wasn't talking to them. So you might say, what's the point of unfollowing them? The thing is I want to steward my singleness very well. And the thing is I noticed that if my husband were still following exes or past situationship girls, if he were still following those girls and looking to see if they viewed his story or just kind of checking up on them on their story, that would make me uncomfortable. In a marriage, I would expect him to not be following those girls. So if I have that standard that I set for my husband, I first need to have that standard set for myself first. Meaning while I'm being single, if I'm not talking to this person, if I'm never going to see them again, if I don't have a relationship with them and we're not even in communication, what's the point of me viewing their story? What's the point of me staying caught up on their life? That's what I expect from my husband. So that's how I'm going to act right now in my singleness, even before my husband comes.
Sis, you ain't ready. You think you are, but you ain't ready. You're not ready to be a wife. See, the kind of wife that we was raised to be, you know what I'm saying? The one that can get her own, to be independent, do what she want, wear what she want, talk as she want. He got to make the money. He got to take you out. He got to do all these things. That's cool. It's real cool. But that doesn't qualify you for being a wife. Let me cook. See, marriage is about covenant, not convenience. And if you get with a man and he's bringing order and you see that structure and that order as something that is controlled, you're not ready, sis. You're not ready. Because covenant requires alignment. Covenant requires assignment. As soon as some man starts bringing some order and some structure into your life, you want to call it control. And baby girl, that's not what that is. You're starting to see his correction as something that is a competition. And that's not what that is, sis. He's correcting you because he loves you. You can't bring pride into this situation. You can't do that. And if you start thinking that accountability is an attack, sis, you're not ready. And I'm not talking about the unhealthy man. I'm not talking about the toxic man. I'm not talking about the misogynistic man. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a man of God who is healthy, who is bringing stability, order, and peace into your life. You can't bring instability to sanctuary. He's going to come in your life to grow you, to make you more holy. See, what y'all want is y'all want a marriage that's going to make you happy. And marriage is supposed to make you even more holy. And that's the problem, is we getting into these situations thinking that we're not going to be tested, that we're not going to keep being refined. Baby girl, that man is here for purpose, for assignment. Let him cook. You can't think that you getting a husband is an upgrade. This ain't a product. A husband is supposed to help you with your assignment. You can't walk into a marriage wanting all the benefits of everything, but you don't want to stand down. Sis, he's going to cover you in everything, in all aspects, financially, emotionally. He's laying his life down to cover you. And the right man is going to honor you. And it is going to be an honor for him to do that. The right man he's not trying to control you, baby. That man his love is sacrificial. And you will feel it. You will know, because you will feel even more powerful. You'll feel even stronger with him. You'll feel even more sexy with him. Accountability is not an attack when elevation is the goal. You don't become a wife because he chooses you. You become a wife when heaven can trust you. That's when you're ready.
Some men don't understand that when they bag a baddie that hates men, you won. That's top tier.
It's more that men are realizing that the baddies were never worth it. Because these women might be dateable, but they are not wifey material. If he marries a baddie that hates all men, he is essentially agreeing to have a wife that hates him. And that is a guaranteed way for a man to never have peace again. Unless he marries her, divorces her, before having kids. Then maybe he's got a slight chance.
Does body count matter?
For any man who says it doesn't, I would ask you, would you be okay with your wife having had intimacy with 2,000 men? Okay, what about 1,000? What about 500? What about 100? What about 50? What about 10? There is a number that most people have, and that varies individually. For some people, it's 0. For some people, it's whatever. I am not a fan of telling women what they should or shouldn't do. I'm not a fan of telling men what they should or shouldn't do either. I believe in individual happiness. I don't believe in dogmas. I don't believe in an authoritative argument. We do it because this is the way it's always been done. That's a logical fallacy. The argument has to make sense in and of itself, pardon me. And individual happiness requires individual rules. But obviously the past matters. You just have to kind of find a range as a man with what you're okay with. And you don't have to justify yourself, and you don't have to explain that to anybody. The only thing you cannot do is lie to yourself about what you're okay with and what you aren't.
I think the biggest thing behind body count is just discipline. Really all it is, discipline. Have you been disciplined like you're wanting me to be disciplined?
So how delusional could you possibly be?
How would you rate Megan Fox?
10. I believe she's a 10.
Do you consider yourself to be as physically attractive as Megan Fox when she was 20?
I would say yeah.
Then what about you?
Yeah.
Who's a 10 guy for you?
Harry Styles. Give me curly haired cute boys all day long.
You guys are all kind of upset and you feel like I'm being insensitive. But if I were to sit here and say, I'm just as attractive as Timothée Chalamet, I'm just as attractive as Brad Pitt, I'm just as attractive as Harry Styles, you guys would clown on me. You guys would be like, this guy, clearly delusional, he thinks he's way more attractive than he actually is. What a clown, what a joke. But y'all don't want to take accountability for your own delusion.
Who's delusional here?
The delusion is we have women here who think that they're on par with Megan Fox or elite supermodels, and nobody wants to say anything. But if I say I'm on par with elite male supermodels, all of you internally are like gonna cringe and be like,
because that's really far off. Yeah, they are really bad, so it's close enough. But like you, it's like, you know what I mean? Like huge gap. Even you said yourself 4.5 below average.
It's a huge gap for all of you too.
I don't know. The delusion is crazy because they actually think they're on par with Megan Fox or the finest supermodels. I mean, at this point, like Salma Hayek, even the older, ladies that are in their 40s and 50s look better than these chicks. And that's the thing. They lie to each other. They'll tell all each other, oh, you look good, you look great. Even if someone was fat and sloppy, oh my God, you're so brave, you look amazing. They'll just lie to each other. Yet if the dude says, I look like Brad Pitt, I look like Harry Styles, I look just as good as these supermodels, I think I do, they'll clown the shit out of him. They have no problem calling someone else, a liar, a clown, you don't look like shit, but they won't tell each other that. They won't look in the mirror and accept the fact, I don't look like Megan Fox or whatever. They'll tell all each other all these lies, but you can't tell them that. They live in a delusion, they live in their ego, and that's the problem. They all think they're 10s, and if no one is perfect, how are you a 10? And then they'll give you some bullshit explanation. So the copium is real, the delusion is real. If you like drugs, you might want to be whatever they're on.
Honestly, and I'm probably going to get eaten alive for saying this, I feel like a lot of women have forgotten their place. And we live in this inverted world, and I feel we got stuck in this whole feminism thing. Feminism is a scam. And now it's like trying to undo. It is feminism. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, we are equal in value, but we are not equal in traits. We are different. Men and women are different.
I agree with that.
And I'm so sick and tired of why are we fighting to be something that we're not? I am not a man. I will never be a man. And for those of you that make that decision, I love that for you. Period. But there are certain things that are just, y'all are stronger than we are. We are more detail oriented than you are. There are certain traits that we naturally got from God based on the gender that we are. And it's all based on survival. It's all based on human nature. And so I feel like a lot of women, not all women, but most women have forgotten their place.
Within themselves,
within the order of family, within the order, even like with God. You know, if you just want to start blanketing statements, like, now this is the thing. If you are a masculine woman, that's fine. But stop acting like you're feminine. If you want to be a boss, babe, I don't need no man. You go do you, boo. But stop teaching that that's the answer. Because I'm sick and tired of this divide of the family. I'm sick and tired of now good men, like, and I'm listening to like stories, right? Good men are getting lazy in dating. They're getting lazy in the pursuit because women are making either everything too easy or they're too hands off. So now what's the point in even trying to date a woman when you're the man that you want me to be?
Feminism is a scam. It was sold to women as it would make them happier. But what they're seeing is, hey, if I sacrifice my entire life to go focus on my professional career, it actually doesn't make me happier. I become more depressed and anxious, and there's more stress in life, versus the original plan. The way God designed it was the husband is the head of the household and the woman is coming up under him, and she gets to take care of the family, and she can have a professional career too, which is fantastic, but it's not her primary aim. Her primary aim is not. And so what we have many women that are dissatisfied with their life. Imagine being a 50-year-old woman with no kids, but you have a bunch of money. You have no family, but you are wealthy. You've worked your way up the social professional hierarchy. And so I think women are realizing that they want to come back home. Yeah, they still want to work 100%, but they want their family to be the priority, not their professional career.
Yo, be careful with those women who come from fatherless homes.
Fuck, man. I think about it sometimes and I'm like, my life would be so much easier if I just liked nice guys, right? If I liked guys who were honest, guys who were kind, generous, thoughtful man who's going to bring me flowers or something. I don't know. You know, if I liked guys who just went out of their way and thought about me, the bare minimum. If I just liked guys who gave me the bare minimum, that would be fucking awesome. But I am a little bit more below than that, right? I like liars. I do. I'm going to admit it. I like men who are assholes. Men who are going to treat me like shit. I do. I like men who are going to go out of their way to make me jealous. And then they come back and I'm like, babe, why'd you do that? I like to feel something because I'm a pretty happy person, pretty peaceful person on my own. So when I have a guy come in and fuck up my life and make me feel something, I'm like, I love this. I love this. This is so shitty and great. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Okay, I didn't ask for this life. I didn't choose this life. This life chose me. Okay, I didn't ask my dad to leave. He just fucking did.
Did you hear that last part? I didn't ask my dad to just leave. This is what happens most of the time when you have women coming from fatherless homes. They just be living their best life. And she said it herself. She loves men that lie. She loves men that try to make her jealous. You know, they like chaos in their life. And she says on a normal day, her life is mostly peaceful. Then a guy comes in and fucks it all up and she loves it. She loves the games. She loves the drama. And she said, my life would be great if I had just a nice guy that got me flowers, that treated me great. But where's all the fun in that? That shit is boring. I don't want no boring ass guy. I want to be able to be psychotic and hit this dude up like, where you at? Are you with that girl? Or who you texting? Like, that's the chaos that they like. And it starts with the fatherless home, you know? That's why women with both their parents are more likely to be, you know, nice wifey shorties for the most part. But this right here is insane. Shout out to her for being honest though. You know, I admit that being honest is just a, you know, honesty is the best policy, and it just gives you, you know, all the information you need to avoid women like this, because that is just a bad investment of your time.
What are 4 signs you should walk away from a woman?
The first one is she's extraordinarily judgmental of who you are as a man. If you constantly feel judged by her, that's the first red flag. Number 2, she ranks high in eroticism. In other words, her emotions are up and down and up and down. In one moment, it can feel like she really loves you. In the next moment, she hates you. 3, if she's trying to make you jealous by flirting with other men in front of you, or simply by enjoying the validation of too many people a little bit too much, that's definitely a sign you should walk away. Number 4, she's easily offended. Women who are secure within themselves, they can take a joke and they don't perceive everything as an attack.
Women are weaker than men. Anybody that says that that's not true is stupid and doesn't understand biology. Feminism it's not just wicked, it's not just stupid. I think it's actually dangerous for women. I mean, practically speaking, putting women on the front lines, that's dangerous. But also, feminism is the reason that we have abortion on demand in Australia. We have abortion legal up until birth. And I don't care what people's views are on abortion. A baby in Australia, if they survive a failed abortion attempt in the 3rd trimester abortion attempt, and the baby comes out and survives and is gasping gasping for air. There is no federal laws to offer life-saving care to that baby who is now considered legally a person in Australia. So
we have abortion until birth.
Yep.
In Australia.
Yep.
Babe, how long is it? How many seconds you can kill them up to? There's no limitations.
Yeah, you can't kill a baby once it's outside the womb.
Before.
If you try to
Wow.
kill a baby inside the womb just before it is and exits the birth canal and the baby comes out still breathing, you can leave it there to die. Feminism is a death cult.
That's why feminists and Muslims like each other. They're both death cults.
So my husband told me that he doesn't love his stepson and that most of the time he doesn't even like him. And what do you know? Now we're getting divorced.
Okay, when I first saw this video, I was like, wow, valid divorce. If you don't love or even like a parent's child, yeah, you probably shouldn't be together. So she has me in the first half, right? She starts getting into how he's saying that he's always resented her son because she always puts her son before him, even though they've been married for 10 years and he's been involved since the child was 1. But then she says this.
But my son is not my soon-to-be ex-husband's child. Now, if he were his child, that would be a different story.
I'm sorry, what? Because now I have to do a 180, because why would the dynamics be different if he was the biological father? First of all, I feel like that's insulting to adoptive parents. But second, yeah, I'm starting to see where his resentment is coming from, because you're essentially telling him that you would respect him more if he was your ex. Like, as a stepmom, I could not imagine going up to my husband and saying, hey, I'm starting to feel a little neglected, like I'm always second fiddle to your son. And him saying, well, I would invest more in you if you were his real mom. Like, that would be such a slap in the face, but it actually gets worse when she tries to explain herself.
Let's clarify something, because I did say in one of my previous videos that if my soon-to-be ex-husband was the father of my child, it would be different. And two parents, who are the parents of the children of the family, work together in unity as a family unit. You have mother and father running the household and all of the children underneath. Now, I believe it sets an example of authority, respect, love, and care when a mother and a father work together in unity. They are above head of household and the children are everywhere below. But that is not the case. My baby daddy and I are not together. He brought another woman into my son's life, and I chose to bring another man into my son's life. My ex brought another woman into the relationship, and so now the son becomes the priority over that other person.
And there it is. It sounds like she just wanted to be with her ex, is mad that he chose another woman over her, and has spent the last 10 years punishing her soon-to-be ex-husband for it. I'm wondering if she ever liked her husband, or if he was always just a means to an end, like one of those race to the altar type things. And like I said, I was on her side at first, but then she kept making video after video about how she will never regret putting her son first because her husband is a grown-ass man and his happiness isn't her responsibility. And some of that is true, but husbands aren't asking you to mother them, they're just asking you to care. Of course your child needs you, but the whole idea of marriage is that once your child is grown and independent and doesn't need you anymore, that you and your husband will still be there for each other to take care of each other, and it feels like throughout this whole marriage, preparing for that was never a priority for you. Unless he was your ex, I guess. There are plenty of us who work full-time, have hobbies, are hands-on mothers, and still care about our husbands. But because you can't or don't want to do this, I think this divorce is a brilliant idea for both of you. But let's be honest, this divorce is not all his fault. Anyway, I wish you all of the happiness and success for both of you moving forward.
And that's what men keep saying. These mothers out here, they keep on putting men at the very last spot as a priority. The very bottom tier. The man could pay the bills for years. Could, even if they went half, the man respect her, love her, take her out on dates, and she's still treating him like he's last priority.
When I was 14 years old, my friends and I would always make jokes about how it was okay if we failed a class, because at the end of the day, we could always just turn around when we turn 18 and be a stripper. Now, this started off as me just having edgy humor, just repeating these kinds of jokes and memes that I saw online. At 15 years old, I had a TikTok account where I posted intensely provocative content of myself. I had hundreds of thousands of followers. I created a global trend. I made money on live streams, and I started to get offers in my DMs and my emails for being in music videos. Started getting offers to sell content under the table, of course. And those jokes and those memes suddenly within a year went from something impersonal and distant to real. A real possibility, a real prospect, a normal endeavor that I could actually pursue and be successful in. And here's why I'm making this video. There was nothing out of the ordinary in my daily life that would procure this kind of hypersexual, objectified view of the world and of myself in my 14-year-old brain. So what did it? How did I wind up at 15 years old basically being a soft creator on TikTok? Well, I had completely unregulated, unlimited access to the internet. All of these ideologies, all of the influences are actually not just in your backyard, but in the device that your child is holding. It is completely naive to think that these billion-dollar industries aren't methodical and sophisticated in the way that they interact with the media, especially young audiences, in order to recruit new addicts and new products. It would be naive to believe that there aren't literal vultures online after your children, grooming your kids, desensitizing them using neutral language like stars and models, and normalizing even this lifestyle by platforming girls who make podcasts about life advice and do get ready with me's and go on brand trips, showcasing their life of luxury and ease that came from, yes, of course, doing OnlyFans, being porn stars. Your daughters are watching these YouTubers and creators that they seemingly grow up with, you know, girls who are a few years older than them. They're growing up with them, watching their kids' content, and they're watching that influencer at the second they turn 18, turn over and open up an OnlyFans. This is the cultural climate that we're living in. The internet is grooming your children, and they're radicalizing your girls through political movements and ideologies that are teaching them that this is normal and fine and in fact good, freeing, liberating. What they don't know is that slowly but surely, the more that they consume this content, the more that they believe these lies, it is deteriorating their sense of self. It is teaching her that her body is not something to be valued, not something to be cherished and protected, but instead a product that can be bought and sold. They're not showing them the exploitive, manipulative, abusive nature of this kind of work. They're not showing them the vast majority of girls who do post OnlyFans content and make less than minimum wage, who are barely scraping by with the content that they make. It is perverting our culture, it's invasive, and it's destroying our children.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? You're fucking crazy. Oh, motherfucker. Yeah, it's good. She might want to eat it.
My ex fucking got me here and she's about to get arrested right now. She thinks she's slick. She thinks she's slick. She thinks she got away too. It's crazy because she thinks she got away. Look.
So the craziest part about all this isn't just her acting like a buffoon on top of his vehicle. No, it's the fact that he didn't even cheat. So, interesting. It's just so interesting whenever these videos pop up of women damaging men's property when they're heartbroken or think they cheated. Women are in the comments supporting it every time. Property damage. Yes. But when a man is brokenhearted and he like breaks a cabinet, right? Destroys some makeup, burns some clothes, suddenly he's a fucking monster. Suddenly he's a demon and that girl deserved better and I can see why you're leaving him, girl. We just don't call some women losers enough, and it's okay. Some women are violent losers. What's wrong with saying this?
Here it is on. You saw me let it go. Are you turning on?
Which kid do you think is going to get bullied first? This is controversial, but are we raising our sons to have dance-offs to protect our wives? Or are we raising our sons to be protectors and providers for our wives? So those on the more liberal side probably are enjoying the dancing video, but as I'm looking at it again, I'm raising my son to be warriors. I want them to provide, to protect not only their wives, but their kids and our country.
Honestly, to be fair, I think it could be either kid that gets bullied, to be completely honest with you. I think it comes to preparation and teaching your child a lesson, right? You're probably not going to have a dance off with the bully, but you are going to have to stand up and defend yourself. I don't know anything about this dance and like what this young man is doing. I probably wouldn't teach my son that, but at some point in time, like I said, I think it comes down to having your child prepared to deal with that bully. And obviously, a lot of times you can say things to the child, but until they get into the situation, they're probably going to do that. You know, I really don't know. When they start getting into it and they start coming home and talking to you about it, that's when you start to say, okay, now next time this happens, you do this, then you do this, and really coaching them through the process. And then, you know, they figure out how to handle the bully. Now, at that point in time, whatever you knock that bully out, I don't know if you stand over him and do a dance. But, you know, no, I wouldn't have my son dancing like this.
Wives, submit to your husband.
Hold up just a second, because why are all the girls mad at that? Personally, if I was a guy, I would be mad at that.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
Like, the guys, I don't know if you've read the verses surrounding that, but if I was a guy, I would be mad, because have you read what the guys have to do? I mean, like, submission, like, okay, but the guys, let me read that to you. For wives, submit to your husbands, blah, 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 blah. For husbands, this means love your wives, just as Christ loved the church. He gave up his life for her. What? And you're mad because you have to submit to this man who loves you with all his heart, and he's dying for you. He gives up his entire life for you. Girls, I don't know why we're mad. I think it's the guys who should be mad. Like, because you think about it, like, if your husband's really loving, if he has the same character as the Lord, or is attempting to get the same character as the Lord, like, that would be easy to submit. Well, it's never easy. Don't get me wrong. That sounds like a struggle, but I think it's better than giving up our lives.
And I realized, man, I ain't fixing these bras no more. A mentor of mine told me this, and man, I made more progress in a couple years than I did in a decade. He told me, you don't find ducks and teach them to fly, you find eagles and teach them to fly in formation.
Say it again, man.
You don't find ducks and teach them to fly, you find eagles and teach them to fly in formation. In my whole life, I was taking ducks, putting wigs on pigs, and trying to teach them to fly. And it was so hard, but guess what? Why do we go for the duck? Because it's easy to find ducks. It's harder to find an eagle because you got to be flying at that altitude. So I would tell dudes, work on yourself, fly at that altitude, and then catch an eagle, because it's going to be longer lasting, and you're going to be able to go farther with that than a duck, because a duck got a limit.
A man will literally sleep with anything. I'm going to keep it PG.
Not even acknowledge that I existed. Okay? So if you have experienced that as a woman, you know what it is like for no man to fucking want you. And so that whole bullshit, they will sleep with anything. Well, guess what? A majority of men won't. The majority of men will not sleep with someone that they have no attraction to whatsoever. Okay? And also, a lot of bigotry plays into all of this from their side and to this whole phrases side.
Ladies, your level of guy isn't the guy that you can sleep with. It's the guy that you can get commitment from.
When women make their own money, the last thing they want to do is support a man.
Believe it or not, no. When women make good money, they don't. When women make money, they don't need a man because they make enough money. They have support.
Okay, repeat that sentence again.
When women make enough money, they don't really need a man.
Okay,
because
say that one more time again.
When
women make what? What did you say? When women make money?
Enough money, they really don't need a man.
You do understand your sentence just defeated your entire argument, right?
No, it didn't. But that's what I'm saying. You said women cannot be able to fight off or fend for the household if they couldn't pay rent.
Am I the only woman who thinks it's really weird that men have to ask their women for sex? If you're with a woman who loves you, she should want to give it to you whenever you want, and she should want to initiate too sometimes. You as a man should not have to ask or beg your woman for sex. That shouldn't be normal. Her turning you down shouldn't be. When I hear that women do that, I'm shocked. I'm like, you turn your man down? You say no? You tell him you're tired? What do you mean you're tired? What do you mean you don't want to take the opportunity to bond with your partner? And I also don't get men who tolerate it. Can anyone please explain this to me in the comments? Because I genuinely don't get it.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Are you single?
Yes.
You think dating gets easier as you age, or is it going to get harder?
I feel like it might get harder, but I feel like it would be easy for me. I don't know.
How so?
Because I'm not like these typical girls that are out here showing naked. I'm very like housewife material. I have discernment. Yeah.
What would you say makes you a good housewife, though?
I would say I would listen to my man. Like, I would be there for him. I feel like that's an answer that every woman gives, but in reality, I am very like, my man leads, I follow.
He says, we're leaving Miami because I have a better job in Minnesota. You're going with him.
Definitely, yes, that's my man. I'm gonna go with him.
If he told you, I don't like what you're wearing today, it's a little bit too provocative, you would change for him.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm not even comfortable wearing shorts.
If he told you, Lisa isn't the best influence in your friend group, you should probably spend less time with her, you'd listen to him.
Yes, because they're not around my friends as much as I am, so they're able to see things I cannot see.
So where do you think so many women get lost in the, I'm an independent girl and I just don't need a man in my life?
I think it's the internet. The internet has changed women into believing that they can do things on their own and they don't need to listen to a man until they're in their mid-30s and buying their own drink and realizing, well, damn, I should have gotten that man when I was in my mid-20s.
One thing you have to notice here is her spirit, the way she conducts herself, and the way she's looking and she's focusing on him intently, listening to what he's asking. So when he said, so if he says, we're leaving Miami, what do you say? Yeah, you already know what she's going to say because she's saying it with the fullness and the authority of, yeah, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, that's where he thinks that we're going, that's the best opportunity for us, then yeah. And it's not mindless submission. It's, okay, we've talked about it. We sat down, we looked at the numbers, we looked at the opportunity. Let's do it. What do I need to do? And that's what men are looking for. You can see, at least in this clip right here, I mean, I really don't even know her, but you can see, at least in this clip right here, you know, she's pretty much covered up. You know, not wearing stuff that's too form-fitting. Obviously, as a woman, you have curves. So there's some things you're going to wear, and especially you have curves, you can wear anything. And your curves are still going to show. It's just the way it is. Right? You can put on a sheet, and the sheet fall in such a way that it show your curves. He can't do nothing about that. Right? But what a lot of these women would have led with, what a lot of these modern women would have led with is, oh, well, no, I got this, and I want to do this, and I ain't doing this for no man, and he better do everything for me. She got a different mindset than they do.
All right. Any final questions between the two of you before we determine if we have a match?
It was commented that the outfit is teetering towards risque. I'm a fashion guy, so I have a level of tolerance, but I want to know if we would call this a 6 in a scale, 1 to 10 scale. This is a 6 for how revealing it is.
Okay.
On a normal basis and on your social media, where is the average?
I'm gonna keep it a buck, probably about a 6. This is probably as much as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? I'll take it up a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll let you decide. If you and I got to know each other better and decided to proceed, if I asked you to tone it down just a little bit, would that be a deal breaker for you or no?
Probably. Yeah. I want to wear what I want when I want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And unfortunately, this is why a lot of women are unhappily single. Why? Because they want a man, a provider, someone to love and care for them, but they are not willing to yield to a man in a relationship. Women want commitment, but don't want to value the relationship. Listen, sis, you can be a gorgeous woman, but I guarantee you a man who knows his self-worth, what he wants, what he's looking for, and him being a man with high standards will not settle for you just because you're gorgeous or just because you're dang near naked. I tell people this all the time. People who lack self-worth date people who lack self-worth. But when a man knows his worth, he's looking for a woman with a higher standard. Or when a man knows what he wants. What makes you think as a woman, any man in his right mind looking for wife material and someone to build long-term with would be okay with you presenting yourself like that in a way for the world to see your body, which is supposed to be for his eyes only. The only men that are okay with women dressing like this is men that don't respect themselves. Because how can they tell you to or look for a woman who does if they don't? Listen, I'm tired of this my body, my choice. I'm a woman. I can do whatever I want, wear wherever I want. Foolishness, because you are a woman and you can most definitely do what you want and wear whatever you want, because I promise you no one's forcing you. But you having this mindset, doing what you want with no leadership, no type of accountability whatsoever, desperate, dressing half naked, and begging for the world to validate you by blending in with every other woman. If you want to be married, sis, if you want a man, then you got to become the woman that he needs, because her mistake was not wanting to be led.
So her saying, I want to wear what I want to wear, I want to wear what I want, that really means that her profile is somewhere bordering an 8 or a 9. And on occasion, depending on what the brand says, it's going to be a 10. It's going to be a 10. Depending on the money that's coming in, I'm going to put it at a 10. Hey, man, there's some money that we need to turn down. We're doing pretty good. And the man said, I'm in fashion, so I know what fashion can look like. And so I understand in playing that game what some things are going to look like. I understand what women are going to wear, right? And I'm cool with that. I've made peace with that. Based on that scale, where do you think that you fall? In the average? Or do you fall, oh, I'm a little bit above average? If I'm honest with you, you know, I'm a little bit more than above average. I'm teetering. So now I started off at 6, which is average, but it's closer to risque versus being closer to, I like to keep it more, you know, PG, more modest. You were already at a 6, teetering towards risque. And then you take it up and say, well, you know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm probably at a 7, to be honest with you. Now you're 3 spots away from the most risque that you can be. Now, with that attitude, you just told me you're really at close to an 8. Don't think that she fully understands exactly where she is. She's saying an 8 in the dress that you're in right now. It's already showing a little bit of your cleavage from the side, if that's what you want to do. But now you're saying, well, I'm actually really at a 7. So now a little bit more cleavage comes out. Now the dress goes up a little bit more to about your mid thigh. Well, it's probably already at your mid thigh, but it goes up a little bit more mid thigh to right above the mid thigh, right? And with your attitude is telling me you can be somewhere around an 8. Okay, so now that's overtly sexual. Now that's what I would wear in a club where, you know, I just got things hanging out. You know, I got a low plunging neckline sort of thing to where they can see a little bit more of this up here and on the side. And then they can see all that I have to offer. All I really have to do is kind of bend over and bend down, and they can see all that I have to offer underneath there. And that also tells me that if somebody like a brand were to say, man, I really got this nice clothing set, you would be at a 9. And a 9 would be, well, I got to do it tastefully, but I would love to do this lingerie set. So now you're actually not in clothing. You're actually wearing stuff that's showing your body off. And I know you're saying you're doing it for the woman, but it's showing your body off to men. And he's going to have to be okay with that.
You open up to a woman, at least as a man, there's like a 98% chance that she's probably going to ghost you or move on to a different man, okay? This tends to perplex a lot of people, and they often ask the question of why, and some people are just so jaded they stop asking why. They just decide that women are just like this and they live with it. But women often see men as ideas, not really who they are as an individual. So essentially, if you open up to a woman, you're becoming a real person. You can no longer fit in the confines of the idea, the box that she has placed you in.
Sleeping with your partner should literally be the most easy thing that you have going on in your relationship. If he has to beg you to get some intimacy, if he has to beg you for a freaking just a hug or a kiss or a hand on the shoulder, if he has to beg you for any bedroom activities, then you need to reevaluate your relationship and really contemplate on whether you want to be with that man or not, because I guarantee you it is not a good feeling for him. And I know that you're probably thinking, well, I don't want to do it. Well, guess what, Linda? He didn't marry you for celibacy. He married you for monogamy. And you are literally denying him the closeness that he desires. And honestly, you should be honored and happy that he still wants that within the relationship. Because when the moment he stops asking for it and he stops nagging you about having a bedroom relationship, then be concerned, because I guarantee you, if that man is a good man, he's going to he's going to hold on as long as he possibly can, but this is why y'all back a dog back into the corner and you deny the dog of its simple needs, food, water, affection. The dog is only going to stay in that corner for so long. It's definitely going to start looking elsewhere. It's probably going to, be on corn sites, or the moment, I guarantee you, the moment some other random chick gives him an ounce of respect and affection, he's going to be like, Linda, who? Because you put him there. You put him in that position. Do I condone cheating? Absolutely not. Do I think that a lot of it can be avoided in relationships when two partners aren't doing things? Absolutely. Start having sex with your man. It's simple.
Another way you can tell if women don't like their husbands, if they were friends first. When a woman wants to be with a guy, she will not friend zone him. Women don't even care if you have a girlfriend or a wife or whatever. I'm just being honest, guys. Women will hunt you down if they want to be with you. And so women that friend zone men, they tend to date their first choice and keep that person as backup.
If your woman refuses to create distance between herself and some other man, be it a friend or whatever, never assume bringing this up will make you look weak or jealous. Because if you ask me, it has nothing to do with jealousy and everything to do with what she refuses to protect. Here's what it looks like when a woman is genuinely available and invested. You don't argue. You don't convince. You don't have to keep bringing it up, okay? It shows up in the way she moves, in her behavior. She naturally creates distance between her and the guy. Not dramatically or defensively, just in a calm way, She doesn't overshare her emotions with these other guys. She doesn't keep emotional doors open just in case. She understands that emotional intimacy has a place, and that place is between the two of you. You'll notice she volunteers information instead of hiding it. She prioritizes your peace over attention. She adjusts without making you the villain. Key difference is healthy handling feels boring, but boring is the kind of peace that you need, where there's no drama, no long debates, no constant reassurance cycles, yet nothing changes, okay? Because when your woman's aligned, she won't argue about boundaries. She'll embody them. Now compare that to unhealthy handling, where she becomes defensive, minimizes your experience, treats your discomfort like a flaw that you need to fix. She might say things like, "Oh, you're making this bigger than it is," or "I'm not doing anything wrong," or "Why can't you just trust me?" That's not reassurance. It's dismissal. And the moment you're made to feel like your emotional safety is unreasonable, something's already off. Healthy handling protects the relationship by default. Unhealthy handling protects access. Watch and know the difference.
And this is really the long and short of it. When we talked about Desirable Truth, the interview that he had with that young lady maybe a couple of minutes ago, that was the spirit that she had. Wherever my man say we going, if it's a good fit for us, we discuss it, we going, right? I'm going to figure out how to do what I need to do. We're both on the same page. We're operating on the same team. But there ain't no need for me to dig my heels in the ground and whatever he say we gonna do, we not gonna do it. This is what men are talking about. At some point in time, you want me to be the leader, but you don't agree with any of my decisions, even though they're good decisions.